And so your course, right? Keys, right? The
Yeah.
keys, you know what I'm saying, to your new car with
But less
less
than
than
perfect credit.
perfect credit. You know,
Yes.
what was that situation or that story of impact that you had with somebody that made you say, okay, I need to package this into a actual course. You know what I mean? What was it that led you to that situation, right? What was that person, right, that maybe that you helped, that you say, you know what, I need to package this so it can help not just one person at a time, but help as many people as possible?
Well, I got to take it back to last summer. I mean, when COVID-19,
Mm-hmm.
COVID-19, just, I'd never been at home before. Um, Nobody had never been at home, couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything. And I had a lot of thinking, a thought process, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was just thinking about all the people that I've sold cars to, and just you spent a lot of time on social media, right? And just got to just have my alone time, like talking to myself, like how could I make a difference with my customers here in Michigan, but how can I make a difference with the world? How can I
Mm-hmm.
make a difference with the world? Because everybody needs a car. Just like with you doing real estate, everybody needs a place to stay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody's renting, they need to not re-renting. They need to have a mortgage, right? But it came across last summer during COVID when I was home. I was the first time in my life that I ever collected unemployment, and I didn't even get my unemployment. I went back to work 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
So if I wouldn't have had money in the bank, I wouldn't have been able to actually pay my bills. But what I was smart enough was that, remember, when you never know when a situation will happen, right? So, at that time, I was giving my friends advice, right, on what to do, because they didn't have some of my customers didn't have monies in the bank to pay their bills because they're at home, you know, or they had a job they just lost their job because of COVID, right? And I was giving them advice where they were like, Regina, what should I tell my mortgage company? Or what should I tell, I got my car payment due, should I give food, or am I gonna pay my car note? And I said, excuse me, are you gonna get food or are you gonna pay your car note? Well, yeah, you know what you're gonna do? You are going to get food, right? I mean, car note. So I told them, I said, call them and you ask them, can they put your car payments on the end? They all know it's COVID. They're not gonna call you and say, well, Mr. Customer, you want us to put your car payments on the end? No, they're gonna still want their money.
Right.
If you
Right.
talk to them and you tell them they know COVID's going on, can you put my car payments on the end? I can't, I need, I lost my job. I'm at home, and talk to them. So when I went through that period, I did more consultation, talking to people and talking to my customers. Customers were messaging me on Facebook. They were going to my, Regina, the Queen of Car Loans at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. It's long on Facebook. And they were messaging me. And then they also got on Instagram, the Queen of Car Loans and Credit. And they were messaging me there. They were like, Regina, can you give me some advice on what to do? And I was just giving so much advice on what you should do. And you know what? It's the little things that someone could tell you that will take you a long way.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was telling that story at the beginning of the podcast of getting that $500,000 house in that Range Rover, that was me. That was me. That was me wanting to go get something that I knew that I could afford because the money I was making, but my credit, I had not had a $300,000 house or $200,000. I hadn't even got a house before. I hadn't even bought my first house.
Mm-hmm.
I had to get that $80,000 house first. I think it was 70 or 80 before I jumped up and got that bigger house, which I ended up selling. So I ended up, I went to get the big house and they said, no, you need to go get this house over here. You can't, And then I was going to banks and my credit wasn't suffice to go to banks. I should have been with a mortgage broker, right? And my first loan was the FHA. So,
Mm.
and then I went and, my first car that I talked about earlier was in my dad's name. After my dad's name, what did I do? I went to try to go get a Range Rover. They were like, okay, you can get this over here if that's what you want. You can get this BMW, But so I mean, I was that person. So I made those mistakes. They told me no. But after they told me no, I put a way together how I was gonna get what I wanted. And I put the masterpiece together because I got it. And after I made those couple payments, I was like, next,
Right. Right.
So I had that breakthrough last during COVID on what do I need to do to help my people here, but people around the world.
Right.
Because
Right.
it doesn't matter how much money you make. You got doctors that are making a lot of money, but a lot of them, some of them have bad credit, or even attorneys. And the reason they do is because of how their money comes. They're not consistent maybe with their cases when they're attorney. They may have one big case. They might not have another huge case maybe for 6 months or 3 to 6 months later. And then the other small cases that they have, they're just able to pay their gas, lights, live, pay their rent, and then do some other necessity things, that the extensions that they need to do. So my breakthrough was was during COVID, and that's why I'm on fire now with you.
Yeah,
So I
right.
mean, it's now of me just realizing, hey, it's time to get the word out. It's time to make the world understand that we get these car loans. We don't marry them. We date them. We don't marry them. We date them.
We just date them.
We just date them. You take care of it. You wash it. You do your maintenance. But then don't fall in love. Don't. Especially if you have Bruised Credit. Don't fall in love.
Right.
You get your credit A1. You get the 750, 800 club. Then you can do what you want to do. You can marry it, date it, or whatever you want to do.